Good morning, everyone. Happy 2023. Excited to dive into this first housing report of the year. Lots of good stuff to cover. First chart we have is the inflation data. This is each month's reading for the past 12 months. As you can see, it peaked in June, and we have a downtrend forming with 5 consecutive lower inflation readings. This is something we're going to be watching closely to see if the trend continues. One of the things we're noticing is that with the slower real estate market and stock market and handful of layoffs happening throughout the economy, inflation seems to have all of its drivers being uh, cut in the right direction. So if inflation continues lower, we expect interest rates to continue lower. Interest rates are now down close to 6. With a rate buy down, you can get that down to 5. That 5 is the average mortgage rate we've had since the 1990s. So for what a lot of folks are noticing is that it's it's actually a pretty good time to buy a house right now because the prices are much better to buy, and you can get the same interest rate you've been able to get for the last 20 years. This is a quote from Barry Habib, a market forecaster with MBS Highway. He's saying as inflation goes lower, we're going to see 5% interest rates within the next 6 months. What we know from the volatility of 2022 is a 1% move in rates is historically big, but in this market can happen in a couple weeks. So this is something that we're also going to be keeping an eye on. This is the median asking rent since 1988. And as you can see, it's just been straight up. So this is one of the biggest reasons why people buy a home is because they don't want to be subject to rent increases. They don't want to be paying someone else's mortgage for them to be making appreciation over the long term. So this is like death and taxes. We know that rent is not building your own wealth, and this is a major reason when we talk to first-time home buyers why they want to buy a home. It's because they're sick of paying rent. This is the chart I've been looking to get to, and we got some interesting data here. Median home price in Bend, 678,000. Last December, 675,000. So for all the hoopla and negative news headlines and fear, people talking about a market crash, we have seen a slight appreciation over the last year. But why doesn't it feel like that? The answer is because in December 21, when we were closing at 675, the house was listed at 625 or 600, and the person was in a bidding war paying 75,000 over a lower asking price. Here, 678, the property's been listed for 80 days. They started at 800, they went down to 750, and the buyer came in 10% under, and they negotiated at 678. It felt like a horrible down market. In reality, it's the same price. The difference is the asking prices. People got their asking prices way out of whack, and that's what's been causing the feeling of things going down. But if you're asking an exorbitant price and then you come down, did that really go down? Or was the price just lower to begin with? That's the question that we're looking at. Median sale price per square foot, similar. We're at 340 in Bend. This is another awesome chart. Look at this. The number of closings in Bend in December was 98. 98. There are 3,000 real estate agents in Central Oregon. So if you were one of the few who got a closing in December, congratulations. This is the lowest number we've seen since this chart existed. One thing that we do know about this is a seasonal trend. So last January and February, we were down in the 130 range. The winter before that, we were at 117. And this is COVID winter, we were at 127. So, what happens typically when we see a new low in closings like this? Well, typically goes up every February into spring. You see things pick back up. So, what this is this to me is capitulation. This is the kind of thing that you would expect when everyone kind of throws their hands up and gives up. And that's really what we saw in December. Nothing was happening. There's negative news headlines, and people just said, forget it. I'm going to do the holidays. I don't want to deal with the market. What we've noticed since the clock has turned to 2023 is a major uptick in activity. Old listings, every agent I talk to show their listing, they've been on the market for 90 days, haven't had a showing in a month, and today they have 3 showings. Personally, I have 2 listings that had calls this week that hadn't had a call in a few weeks, and it's just the same thing. People are kind of poking their head up. They're like, we survived 2022. Stock market was down 20%. Real estate market feels like it was down, but it was actually even. And inflation's coming down, and rates are coming down, but yet there's still bargains in the marketplace. So people are kind of doing that math and going, maybe this might be a nice time to take advantage of these deals while we wait for this volume to pick back up going into spring. Days on market for sold properties came back up to 30. Now, this 30 number is for closed properties. That means they were priced properly. Next number we're going to look at is the MLS numbers. These numbers are for the active listings. So they are 242 homes for sale in Bend. The median days on market is 81. Now compare that to the 30 days on market of closed properties. Why are they so different? We talk about this every month because these ones have been sitting there overpriced, most of them. Now, keep in mind, some that just hit the market are potentially going to be selling in that 30-day time frame if they're priced right or if they're better quality than the competition. However, there's also ones dragging down the average here who have been on the market for 180 days, and the seller doesn't have to sell. They're just testing the waters. They very well may wait it out till springtime or later. As long as some people don't have to sell, they can take their time. Other people, if it's a job or an opportunity, they're going to sell. They're going to take what they can get, and then they're going to make it up on the purchase when they buy their next home. Take advantage of the pricing we have currently. 138 of these listings have changed their price. Average number is now 6.87, so it's a little bit less extreme of price changes than it had been, likely because people are getting the memo and starting to price it a little more realistically. So what's the bottom line? We have super low inventory, month and a half. The prices are about the same as they were 1 year ago, but there's much longer days on market, which means there are select opportunities to negotiate lower after a home's been on the market for 100 days. So it's a great time to be a buyer right now. We got the best deal we've ever gotten for a client in the month of December, 20% under asking. Doesn't happen every time, but there are those select opportunities. We have inflation retreating, not just 1 or 2 months, but 5 months. We have interest rates going from 7.5% to 6%, trending in that lower direction. 5% with a buy down. So, and a seller will typically pay for the buy down. So the bottom line is that we're seeing buyers come out of the woodwork. People that we've talked with for 3 years who are waiting, didn't like the bidding wars. Those people in the new year are picking up the phone and calling. They're scheduling showings. Every single agent I talk to when I schedule a showing has said that they've noticed an uptick in showings. They've got 2 scheduled that day. Homes that have been sitting for 6 months all of a sudden have 3 showings in one day. So bottom line is we're seeing the potential for a major market turn here post December 2022, and smart people are getting in line to be first to the table before things pick back up. So if you have a situation on your hands, you have market comments, we'd love to hear what you're hearing. This is how we put together our narrative, is by compiling it from everyone we talk to. So we'd love to hear from you. If you have any issues you want to talk through, give myself or any Ben Relo agent a call.